Hello, Kelsey Taylor here. Welcome to another top list video. Now this one's going to be very quick. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite authors. Now what I mean by that, I meant like book authors, like authors of books I used to read when I was really young. I have 2 authors who did, of course, picture books, like kids books, and 3 mainly just like chapter books, and like mainly one author I read when I was in high school. So yeah, this one will be very quick. I do have 2 honorable mentions. They are J.K. Rowling and Beverly Cleary, who was one of those authors I used to, read a lot of her books when I was in elementary school. I haven't read them in a very long time, so I cannot remember specifically. But here are the 5 main authors who are my favorites. Alright, number 5. Eric Cleary. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his last name incorrectly. This is the author of various kids' picture books like The Hungry Caterpillar, and one book I used to read a lot with the cassette tape, one of those read-along books. I cannot remember the name. Walter the Baker. I like his stories, and his illustrations were very cool, like with a painting style. I thought they looked very unique. Even I remember being, as a little kid, being very fascinated by those illustrations. And he is still alive, believe it or not. Like, I believe he's pushing 90. I think, yeah, he's almost 90 years old. He's still alive. With that said, I don't know if he's still doing books anymore, but for what he put out were classics like The Hungry Caterpillar. I'm sure a lot of people have read that book by now. I think I read it, but I don't remember right now. I remember being fascinated by his paintings. Number 4. Dr. Seuss. Theodore Geisel, however you say his last name. Yeah, Dr. Seuss. Everybody on earth has read Dr. Seuss books. Kids are still doing so today. I don't need to explain much. I was in Massachusetts this past summer in his old hometown of his birthplace of Springfield, Massachusetts, where he was born. And I went to the museum for it. I have a video blog on my channel if you want to look at that. It's one of those shorter ones. And it's very cool. Of course, his rhyming was great. And of course, memorable characters we have, like the Grinch, Cat in the Hat. Other classics like Green Eggs and Ham, Morton Here's a Who. It's, he is such a talent. He really was. And, hopefully, future generations will keep his stories going. And, he's being remembered all around the world. And, yeah, very, very fun, talented author, as well as illustrator, too. Very imaginative ideas in the stories. Number 3, Ray Bradbury. This is the author I read some of his books when I was in high school. I remember doing a report on him I think in the 9th or 10th grade. He was a sci-fi author who wrote stories from Fahrenheit 451 to the Martian Chronicles. And I haven't read any of his books in a long time. I guess I'm more of a movie person, except that one movie based on Fahrenheit 451 from the 60s, very corny. I would not recommend it. Well, I would recommend it if you want something really cheesy, but it's so weird. I remember being so psyched to read Fahrenheit 451. I think it was in the 9th grade. Like, we didn't read it until 10th grade, but I really wanted to read it now. And I didn't want to wait until next year. Like I said, I was a freshman, and I really wanted to read Fahrenheit 451. Fairly rare I would get excited about reading a book. But I don't know, something about Ray Bradbury's work kind of fascinates me, like, sci-fi in literature. Maybe that fascinates me more than what's the kind of fascinating sci-fi stuff in movies. That sometimes interests me. But yeah, I like some of his books. Again, I've not read them in a long time. My favorite at the time was the Martian Chronicles, and I learned to appreciate Fahrenheit 451 even more, even when in the 10th grade we were reading that, because when I first read it as a freshman, I kind of liked it. It wasn't as good as I hoped, but then after, letting it sink in, I liked the story a lot more. And I just found the book while I was clearing out my old desk, because this desk is not coming with us in the move. We're getting rid of it. I'm getting a new desk. Yeah, I cannot believe I still have that book, and I hope to read it again on my spare time. Well, right now it's packed away, so maybe I will during my spare time when I move up to Mass. But Ray Bradbury is my 3rd favorite author. Okay, number 2, Barbara Park. There's still a few people who don't even know that Barbara Park has been dead for nearly 5 years now. She was the author of the Juby Jones books, my favorite book series when I was a kid. And it's a shame she's no longer with us, that we'll never get any more Junie B. Jones books. And, you know, I've done a few videos on my channel talking about my favorite Junie B. Jones books, and I made a video tribute that a lot of people saw. And thanks for the lovely comments on that, especially on the comments on my one of my collection of my stuff videos where I talked about the Junie B. Jones books that I have. I still have not gotten all of them. I'm thinking about picking those up in the future at some point. Maybe I have to rebuy them all, but yeah, I never read any of the other books she written. Mainly Junie B. Jones is a well-known and popular book series. I always enjoy reading those, even reading them out loud, and yeah, they were very funny, and again, such a talented, fun author, and God rest her soul. As well as God rest the souls of Ray Bradbury and Dr. Seuss, and as well as the other one. Eric Carle is still alive. Again, amazing. Alright, now, here's my #1 favorite author, and that is C.S. Lewis. Fantasy is like one of my favorite genres, mainly in books next to, I guess, sci-fi and child-friendly things. He, of course, you know, wrote the Narnia books, like from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to Prince Caspian. Of course, a lot of people's favorites has to be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? I remember first hearing about that. Our 5th grade teacher like read that book to us like in class. Like we weren't reading along. She was like, you know, kind of like story time kind of thing. She used to do that with a lot of books, like The Tale of Despereaux and a few other ones I cannot remember. It's been so many years. And The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe were one of the books she read. And then at the time I was at a different school, and then the following year I moved to another school, and we of course did, you know, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Like we read the book in class. I started learning more about it, and of course that was around the time when the movie came out from Disney, which was an awesome film. And yeah, it's like very fascinating. I think at one point, I remember when I was in high school, somebody said, "Oh, C.S. Lewis is kind of boring." I think I said that, I don't know, talk about our favorite authors, and I said C.S. Lewis. She goes, "Well, the story's kind of like bland and boring, like, dry, like." And I don't know why. I always thought C.S. Lewis stories was kind of like, I don't know, interesting, and like they didn't felt really dry and boring to me. Like I didn't found them to be, you know, completely bland or anything like that. I just found them fascinating, and you know, have Aslan the Lion being one of your stories. Cool. And I haven't read the stories in a very long time. Again, I'm not much of a book person more than I am a movie person, but I still collect books. I just get too lazy to read them. But you know, when I was in school, of course, I was into books more than I am now. Yeah, C.S. Lewis is my top favorite author. I enjoy the Narnia books. As I haven't read any of his stuff besides that. I think a few Narnia books I read. I don't think I've read them all. I remember getting all the Narnia books like in one set for my 13th birthday. I remember. I think it was my 13th birthday. Yeah, it was around my 13th birthday because it was around the time we were reading the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe story in school. So that's my video talking about my top 5 favorite authors. Let me know what you think of this list. And I'll catch you guys next time. And also, if you haven't checked it out yet, I've uploaded a new animation on my Fiddly account because YouTube blocked it right before I was ready to make it public. It's Animash Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake. Check that video out. I'll leave the link in the description for you guys to go check it out. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Adios.